Welcome back to Haunted Stories. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash that like to support my free and daily content for you. So gather around, dim the lights, and prepare to be captivated by the eerie mysteries and ghostly encounters that await in the shadows. Without further ado, let's dive into today's bone-chilling video. First story, Echoes of Darkness. The Thompson family had high hopes when they moved into their new home on the outskirts of town. The spacious rooms, the warm sunlight filtering through the windows. It seemed like the perfect place for a fresh start. Their two children, Emily and Alex, were thrilled with their new surroundings, eagerly exploring the nooks and crannies of the old house. But as days turned into nights, an unease began to settle over the family. It started with subtle things, an occasional draft that seemed to have no source, the creaking of the floorboards in the hallway. Emily claimed to hear faint whispers in the silence of the night, and Alex mentioned feeling like he was being watched when he was alone in his room. As the weeks went on, the occurrences escalated. Items went missing only to reappear in strange places, and shadows seemed to dance just beyond the edge of vision. Their family dog, usually friendly and relaxed, would occasionally bark and growl at empty corners of the house, his hackles raised as if sensing a presence that the family couldn't see. One evening, as they gathered in the living room, the lights flickered and the room plunged into darkness. A shiver ran down their spines as the air grew heavy, and the faint sound of footsteps echoed through the hallway. Emily clung to her mother, eyes wide with fear, and Alex's bravado wavered as he stared at the doorway. Research into the house's history revealed unsettling details. The previous owner, a recluse who had lived there for decades, had vanished without a trace. Rumors circulated about their obsession with the occult and strange rituals. The family's excitement over their new home transformed into a gnawing dread as they realized they were not alone in the house. The Thompsons tried to dismiss their fears, attributing the strange occurrences to their own imagination or the quirks of an old house. But when the incidents grew more intense, objects moving on their own, chilling drafts that defied explanation, they knew they had to confront the dark history of their home. They contacted experts in paranormal investigations, hoping for answers that would calm their anxieties. The investigators spent nights in the house, setting up equipment and recording their observations. What they discovered turned the family's fear into a chilling reality. The house seemed to hold echoes of the past, residual energy that was tied to the previous owner's obsession with the occult. The investigators revealed that the house had likely been the site of rituals and ceremonies that left behind an imprint, a haunting reminder of the past. While there were no apparitions or ghostly figures, the family was living amidst the remnants of these events, the emotional residue manifesting in the strange occurrences they experienced. With newfound understanding, the Thompsons faced a difficult decision. The house, while full of history, was also a place of turmoil. The echoes of the past, though not malicious, were a constant reminder of the darkness that had once taken root there. Ultimately, they decided to move, seeking a home untainted by the lingering energy of the past. As they left the house for the last time, they couldn't help but feel a mix of relief and sadness. The memories they had created there were overshadowed by the knowledge of the house's disturbing history. As they drove away, they hoped that the next occupants would find the peace that had eluded them. Second story, The Whispers Within. The Fitzgerald family was drawn to the charm of the old countryside house, a place where they could escape the chaos of the city and create new memories. They had dreamt of lazy afternoons on the porch and cozy nights by the fireplace. But as they began to settle in, the idyllic image they had in mind started to unravel. It began with hushed whispers, barely audible but impossible to ignore. At first, they attributed the sounds to the wind or the house's settling. But the whispers persisted, growing louder and more distinct as the days went by. The family began to exchange worried glances, their once eager enthusiasm giving way to apprehension. As they explored the house's history, they learned that it had once belonged to a reclusive writer. Rumors circulated about his eccentric behavior and his tendency to withdraw from the world. The whispers seemed to converge around the room that had once been his study, as if carrying the echoes of his thoughts and words. Late one night, as the family huddled together in their living room, the whispers grew in intensity. It was as though the very walls held secrets they were desperate to share. Their attempts to record the sounds were met with frustration. The whispers were too elusive, fading as soon as they were captured. As the days turned into weeks, the whispers began to evolve. The family members started hearing distinct phrases, fragments of sentences that echoed through the hallways. The words seemed to play on their fears and insecurities, leaving them feeling exposed and vulnerable. Their sense of unease deepened as they discovered old journals and notebooks hidden in the attic. The writer's entries were a mix of ramblings, disjointed thoughts, and desperate pleas for understanding. His obsession with documenting his own descent into madness sent shivers down their spines. The whispers grew relentless, invading their thoughts and dreams. Sleepless nights and frayed nerves strained their relationships. They became consumed by the house's secrets, piecing together the writer's story and the torment that had consumed him. The family's collective obsession seemed to draw the whispers closer, as if the house itself resented their intrusion into its hidden history. As tensions escalated, they sought help from experts in psychology and acoustics. The professionals were as baffled as the family, unable to explain the origin of the whispers. The house seemed to have a life of its own, a repository of memories and emotions that defied rational explanation. In the end, the Fitzgeralds faced a choice: stay and continue to unravel the mysteries of the house's past, or leave and escape the suffocating presence of the whispers. With heavy hearts, they chose the latter, their desire for tranquility overshadowed by the weight of the house's history. As they walked away from the house, they couldn't help but look back one last time, their hearts heavy with a mixture of relief and sorrow. The whispers remained behind, a lingering reminder of the writer's torment and the questions that would forever remain unanswered. Third story: Shadows of the Past. The Montgomery family had always dreamed of living in a grand historic mansion, and their excitement was palpable as they stepped through the ornate entrance of their new home. The sprawling corridors, intricate woodwork, and elegant furnishings spoke of a bygone era, and they relished the opportunity to embrace the mansion's storied past. As they settled into their new lives, strange occurrences began to unfold. Shadows seemed to move on their own, footsteps echoed down empty hallways, and the air grew unnaturally cold in certain rooms. At first, they dismissed these incidents as mere quirks of an old house, but the frequency and intensity of the events raised unsettling questions. Their investigations into the mansion's history revealed a darker side. The original owners, the Van Derlens, had been prominent figures in the community during the 19th century. However, rumors circulated about their involvement in questionable practices and their obsession with preserving their legacy at any cost. One evening, while exploring the mansion's library, the Montgomerys stumbled upon a hidden compartment behind a bookshelf. Inside, they discovered old diaries and letters that painted a chilling picture of the Van Derlens' descent into obsession. The family's excitement turned to unease as they read about seances, forbidden rituals, and an unrelenting quest for immortality. As the days turned into weeks, the line between past and present began to blur. The family members started experiencing vivid dreams that transported them to the 19th century, where they witnessed unsettling scenes from the Van Derlens' lives. They watched as the family's patriarch performed dark rituals, and as a sense of malevolence consumed the mansion. Terrified, the Montgomerys tried to distance themselves from the mansion's history, but the events of the past seemed determined to merge with their reality. They heard whispered conversations in empty rooms and caught glimpses of figures dressed in old-fashioned attire. The mansion seemed to be a canvas on which the shadows of history were replayed, a haunting reminder of the Van der Linde's legacy. Desperate for answers, they consulted historians, psychics, and paranormal experts. The consensus was that the mansion had become a vessel, its walls imbued with the emotions, regrets, and obsessions of its former inhabitants. The Montgomerys were caught in a cycle, their presence triggering the reenactment of events from a century past. As the situation grew more dire, the family's bonds were tested. Their once solid relationships began to fracture under the weight of fear and uncertainty. Each family member struggled with their own demons, haunted not only by the mansion's history but by their own inner turmoil. In a last-ditch effort to break the cycle, they gathered in the mansion's grand hall, surrounded by portraits of the Van der Linde family. Armed with knowledge of the past and the determination to reclaim their lives, they confronted the shadows that sought to engulf them. Their voices echoed through the mansion as they refused to be defined by the sins of the past. With each declaration of independence, the shadows seemed to lose their grip. Slowly, the mansion's atmosphere shifted, the cold air warming, and the unsettling echoes fading into silence. As they stepped outside, the family felt a weight lift from their shoulders. The mansion remained, but its hold on them had loosened. The events that had bound them to the Van der Linde's history had been broken, and they walked away with a newfound appreciation for the present and a renewed sense of unity. In the end, the Montgomerys realized that the mansion's history need not define them. They had confronted the shadows of the past and emerged stronger, their bonds forged in the crucible of a chilling history. The mansion, once a place of turmoil, stood as a reminder of their resilience, a testament to their ability to face darkness and find the light within themselves. Thank you for sticking with us through the whole video. Remember, your support means the world to me. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and give that like button a resounding hit. This helps me bring you more free and thrilling content every day. If this video sent shivers down your spine, let me know in the comments. Stay tuned for more hair-raising stories. Until next time.